Okay, welcome to the third day of PMP exam prep course. We have covered the last 2 days in explaining the PMP handbook and the PMP examination content outline. A small little part was left, and that was the instructions on exam scheduling, how to schedule your exam and what to do after that. So that part I will be covering now, and then we'll move ahead. So as we already talked about, the fee for a member who is a PMI member, as Adil Saab has already got membership today. Shakhan, did you get the membership?
Hello, sir. No, not yet. I was busy, sir. Just now I came back from office. I was working on a proposal, so
Okay,
it
okay,
has been.
right.
So tomorrow, on this weekend, I will do it, sir. Usually I take time on weekend.
Of course, of course. So you must take your
So,
membership, as if you can then start applying for the PMP exam, and when you will apply as a member, you will be charged only $405 for your PMP exam. Whereas non-members
inshallah.
have to pay $555, and this difference is basically going towards your membership fee. So this is the safe deal. You will get all the benefits of being member and also be able to do your PMP. But I will very strongly recommend that you upkeep your membership. You must retain your membership. Every year you have to pay $129, and that is worth it, especially when you are outside of Pakistan, and you need to add something to your competency at a low cost. Then probably being a member, you will have a lot of opportunity to learn more and add to your competency, and naturally the PDU requirements are also met there by the chapter. Moreover, you do have the projectmanagement.com website, which has a mechanism for free to be used for you if you are a member. If you are not a member, you have to pay $179 for that per year. So, premium membership of projectmanagement.com is also free to you. And moreover, I would say whenever there is an event around you, wherever you are, you must try to attend that. International events, PMI, global congresses, all those sessions. Try to attend that. I go from here to USA and Canada and all those places to attend those sessions. Naturally, I am a regular speaker there also. That is one of the reasons. Although they don't pay anything to the speaker, but that is anyways a great honor that you are speaking in front of all those audience from uh, globally who are gathered there. Anyways, so this is the computer-based testing we are looking at. There is also another mechanism which is called paper-based testing, which is not allowable or not available in Pakistan or most of the countries. Why? It is meant for those places where there is no computer-based testing available. In Pakistan, you have got computer-based testing. In most of the countries, you have got computer-based testing available. So paper-based testing, though, is cheaper, but it is not available in our countries. It is available for Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan. These are the countries where they have no computer-based testing. But a few months back, I was called in Iran, and they wanted to have their uh, lot many trainings there and certifications and all that. I tried to coordinate with PMI, but PMI refused that they will not even hold the paper-based testing due to sanctions. So the Iranians are still in trouble. They if they have to appear, they have to go somewhere else, some other country. They have to go there and then appear. Anyways, so paper-based testing is not for us. Unfortunately, if you do not pass in the first attempt, then you have an opportunity of redoing your exam. Re-examination fee for a member is $275, and for a non-member is $375. So this much you pay and you can appear again. You can appear 3 times in 1 year. I mean, once your application is accepted, you will be given 1 year time you will be processed for 1 year. So during this 1 year, you can make 3 attempts. But naturally, we wish and we pray that you do it in the very first attempt. But today I was teaching to another person, he's studying for business analysis. He told me that he failed twice in PMP. Very few people are there who fail, fail in PMP exam and repeatedly fail in PMP exam. So I have come across few people. There is another person who came to me and he said he failed for 2 times. Rather, he failed for 3 times. And then I know of another person who failed, who is in Canada, and he failed for 3 times. Then he applied again after 1 year. You are barred from appearing the exam if you fail for 3 times consecutively. Then you cannot appear in the exam for 1 year. So after waiting for 1 year, he started again, appeared, again failed, and probably in his fifth attempt, he passed the PMP exam. But these are just horror stories. These are very few. Most of the people, they pass in the first attempt. Some of the people pass in the second attempt. And the very few people who are so dumb, they cannot pass in 2 attempts. And probably one of the reasons is that you have to be highly flexible. Whatever you study in PMBOK, try to map it to your experience, rather mapping your experience onto the PMP, onto the PMBOK. So you have to be very flexible. Otherwise, no matter how good you are, how well prepared you will be unable to attempt the questions right. So then is the credential fee. Credential fee is after every 3 years when you fulfill your 60 PDUs requirement, you have to pay $60 as a member to renew for another 3 years. Your PMP status will be renewed. PMI membership is a separate thing and PMP status is a separate thing. PMI membership every year you have to renew, and PMP status you have to renew after every 3 years. So if you are a member, you pay $60. If you are not a member, you pay $150 for renewal of your PMP. Yeah. Yes, Shah Khan?
I wanted to ask, sir, this CBT and PBT, which one you think is better, sir?
You see, I was discussing the same thing. PBT is not for you. It is not available for you at all. PBT is only possible in those places where computer-based testing is not held. And wherever
Okay.
you are, computer-based testing is available. In most of the countries, computer-based testing is available. The paper-based testing could be for those countries where there is no computer-based testing centers available, no parametric centers available, like Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, and similar countries like that. But even then, in these countries also, I was telling that they are not even allowing paper-based testing to be conducted in Iran due to the sanctions. So,
One more thing yes,
mhm,
sir. Uh, okay, one more thing I wanted to ask, sir. Before the exam starts, sir, they
mhm,
give a paper, I mean a blank paper on which we can, any mnemonics if we have made in our mind, we can just write the
mhm,
dump, whatever is in our mind
mhm,
to write it down, sir. Is
mhm.
that possible?
Yeah, why not? It is very much. They give you the paper always. That is the norm. They will give you
Somewhere,
a few.
somewhere on a blog I read it, sir, they have stopped this one as well. So that is difficult, it
Well,
seems.
I don't
So
know. They don't. They do it now or not. But till the time I was appearing in all those exams, and I have heard about it, they used to give some rough paper and some pencils to you, because you cannot take anything along with you in the exam. So if you have to do some rough work and you have to write down something, you can do that. But probably I also heard about it that something was going on that, and they would stop giving the paper. So I'm not really sure about it. I have
okay.
to check with someone who has appeared very recently.
Before going to the exam, we'll better ask the exam center to their policies, sir.
Exam center won't be able to tell you anything. They will not talk to you. They will just on the day of the exam they will talk to you. Otherwise,
Okay.
they will not even attend your calls.
Mhm.
Right. Okay. As I said, exam eligibility, when your exam PMP application is approved, your exam eligibility stands good for 1 year. And in this 1 year, you can attempt your exam thrice. But every time you have to pay, as I have just shown you, $275 for a member. And if you are a non-member, you have to pay $375 for each additional attempt. But that is only when you do not pass in the first attempt, then you have to appear in the second or third attempt. But 3 attempts are allowed only in 1 year. And if you cannot clear the exam in 3 attempts, you will be debarred from exam for 1 year. And after 1 year, you can again apply a fresh application and you can again start giving your exam. So, as I was quoting, I know of a person who actually did that. He applied again, 3 times he failed, he applied again, and then again he failed, and fifth attempt it was that he passed. The letter you will get from PMI after the approval of your application would include some details that will give you a PMI eligibility ID. That will be your login name. For logging into, you can see here a website address written www.prometric.com/PMI. This is the website. You can go there right now also. There it will ask you your eligibility number. If you have an eligibility number, you will provide that eligibility number, and as a password you have to provide the first 4 characters of your last name. So that's how you can get into it. And then the day your application has been accepted, the start and end date would be mentioned. That would indicate the 1 year you are allowed to use for your exam. Examination scheduling instructions will be included. How can you do it? And as I was saying, the scheduling instructions include that you go to this website, log in with your eligibility ID, and book your exam. That will present you a kind of a, you can even select the test center. And as I was telling Adil a few days back, that you can apply from here, and later you can even say that I select the test center in America or Dubai or somewhere else, wherever you want to appear, you can set your exam there. Uh, Moreover, there are certain instructions uh, which is a kind of a caution that you should do. First of all, whenever you intend to appear in the exam, the selected date and time, you must try to book the exam at least 6 weeks before. This is a caution. I'm not saying that you will not be able to get the seat. Maybe you apply for a date 2 days from now and you still can get a seat. But there might be some crowd there. There might be so many people applying for the exam. So there is a chance that you may not get a seat. So to protect that thing, you must apply at least 6 weeks before your preferred test date, and that will ensure that you will definitely get that seat. Secondly, also be cautious. People normally waste their 1 year of eligibility period and they start getting active in the last few months. And when they try to book their exam, they know that there is no seat available, and ultimately their eligibility period expires and their fees is also gone. They do not get any extensions. I remember back in 2000, 2001, PMI was quite helpful. They used to extend the dates. I've personally known the Oracle head was Samina Rizwan here, and she got the extension twice or thrice. But now PMI is very strict about it. They do not give you an extension even of one day. Therefore, um, if your eligibility period is about to finish, then from the finish of the eligibility period, 3 days backwards, you must plan your exam. You must book your exam. So that will ensure your seat in the exam. This is just some instructions for getting your seat in the exam. Okay. One more thing about cancellation or rescheduling policy. They have made it more strict now. In my time, it was used to be just 48 hours notice. 48 hours means just 2 days before the exam, I could have changed my exam to another date. Now it is not possible. Now they have made it a policy that you cannot change your exam date. At least you have to change it 30 days before. So you book 60 days before, you have 15 days to decide if you do not want to appear on that date. One time you can change it free of cost if you apply with it before 30 days of the exam. But if you enter within the 30 days, then you will have to pay $70. And if you enter into the last 48 hours, you will have to pay full fee. So be cautious on that. First of all, book your exam in time, then try not to change your date. If there is an emergency and you have to change the date, then do it 30 days before. And even if you have got a bigger problem and you still have to enter into the 30 days, then do it at least 48 hours before, as if you can only be charged $70. And if at all you have to change it in the very last moment, then probably that is you know better go for the second attempt rather than doing this. So this was it. Uh, the second point here is, what if something happens to you when you're going to the exam center and you cannot reach the exam center and you cannot appear in the exam? Will PMI give you any allowance for that? Okay, PMI explains very clearly that these are some of the circumstances in which they will accommodate. But number one thing is, you have to inform PMI within 72 hours of the start of your exam that you have got this emergency and that's why you could not appear. So they may give you another chance. And what are those emergencies? Medical emergency, military deployment for those who are serving military officers. So if they are on active duty and they have been called on duty, so that is military deployment. So that can be a reason. Death in immediate family, illness in immediate family, or a natural disaster. These are some of the conditions in which PMI may allow you to give, they may give you another chance free of cost. But this is not a surety. So be rest assured that as soon as something like this happens, immediately within 72 hours, you must ensure whether you have to call PMI, you have to do whatever, you must ensure that this thing, you inform them well in time, as if you can get another chance. Now, when you are going to the examination center, what are the identifications you can present to them? Because this is kind of an American system, so they give the highest priority to the driver's license. So driver's license nowadays, we have got also the similar kind of driver license. This whatever the identification you carry must be in English. So driver license is okay. A Pakistani driving license will work. If you are a serving officer of military, your military ID can work. But once I tried to show them my retired officer ID, and they said no, you are retired, so you are expired. Please be sure that whatever ID you show, that must be current, that must not have expired. The date of expiry should be valid. Uh, I strongly recommend that you take along your passport, because that is the strongest ID you can. National identity card. So national identity card, previously we had problems when it was in Urdu. Even your national identity card was not accepted by them. Though they are sitting here in Pakistan and the people treating you are Pakistanis, but they are having instructions that it should not be in any other language. It should be in English. And if that be the case, you must have the smart card. Do you have the smart ID card now? That will work because that shows everything in English. Shahan, what kind of card do you have? ID card?
I have a driving license, sir, as well as passport ID here, Emirates ID, so many IDs, sir.
Okay, that is fine. So all of these IDs will work for you. But even Pakistani ID card or Pakistan origin card or NICOP, whatever that is, that also
Yes, sir. That
all
NICOB and that smart English smart card is also working, sir.
English smart card, yes, all are in English and now they can work.
Okay, sir.
In addition to these IDs, you can also use your valid employee ID, the card you hang in your neck, and your credit cards. Credit cards are also accepted as valid ID, whether they're credit cards or debit cards. They are also accepted there. And which is not acceptable is a social security card or a library card. Now, how many IDs should you carry? They generally recommend that at least 3 different IDs should be carried along with you. 3 different IDs you should at least carry with you. Yes, passport, no, not only one. They may have any doubt. Maybe they say this is expired, we don't like it, or whatever reason. So, for your own protection, carry at least 3 more IDs. I usually carry, my ID card and my passport and um, 2, 3 credit cards. You always have credit cards. You can always show them the credit cards. So that works. Then they have got certain instructions. Well, Shahan, as I know so far, the rules of Prometric and PMI mention that calculators will not be provided. So, rather I would say calculators are built into the computer-based system, testing system, and you have to use the calculator on screen. So you can't carry your own calculator inside. But sometimes I have experienced that if there is a calculator lying there, you can request them that I cannot use comfortably the calculator on screen. Please give me your calculator. So the examiner can give you his calculator. That is a possibility, but that is not a norm. They will give you a couple of pencils and few scraps of paper, I mean few pages of paper, which you can use for your rough work. The basic purpose of that is to use it as a rough work, not to do the brain dump. So probably that is the reason why uh, we have heard about it, that they are completely finishing off with giving this paper. But anyways, what I know is they should give you some papers and pencils. You are not allowed to carry anything else with you, even if the dress you are wearing, that's the only thing you carry along. If there is a coat and you have removed it, then that has to be kept outside. You cannot take it inside. You can't hang your coat on your chair inside. You can't do that. If you're wearing it, you keep wearing it. Secondly, they will almost strip search you. They will get your pockets checked and they will get your pockets out of your everything, and they will ensure that you are not carrying anything inside. Your time will be noted when you enter the exam, not the exam center, but when you properly, you have to sign in and sign and put in your signature and time on a sheet, and that is when your test starts. Now, test, as you know, is of 4 hours and there are 200 questions and there is no break in it. But mm, I would very strongly recommend that this is a very tough exam and this is a mind-boggling exercise, 200 different scenarios, and your mind is, working at a very fast pace, and there is going to be a burnout. Therefore, uh, after 2 hours, you must take a break. And this break could be very short break. Go to washroom, use washroom, wash your face, and have a drink of water. And especially the most important thing is flex your muscles. Do something like this because you are continuously sitting in a posture. and that is very fatiguing. So this is very important that you do a little exercise. To just take 2 to 3 minutes in that break. Don't take very long breaks. You can't smoke outside because you can't even take cigarettes inside the exam center. Right on the door of the building, they will confiscate all items you are carrying, your your keys and everything, your wallet, keys, handkerchief, everything will be put into a locker. So in exam center, you cannot be smoking for periods of time. You are not allowed to do anything. You can't take anything along, eatables or drinkables, nothing at all. So take this break, 2 3 minutes, go back, uh, fresh into your exam, and now some of your tiredness will be worn off. What you do next is do attempt your paper for one more hour. After 1 hour, take another small little break. This way, you will be able to survive the whole exam. And this is very important. This is nowhere else are these instructions given. But I am telling you, this is my personal experience. You will burn out. Especially PMP was rather a simpler exam. Program management professional exam really broke me up. Completely broke me up. I was not at my senses at all. It was so lengthy a paper I could not take breaks. And in the third hour, I was unable to read what is going on the screen. The words were jumping up and down. I kept forgetting which line I was reading, and then things like that. So you must protect yourself from that thing. That will happen. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I think we have talked about the certification cycle. The day you pass your exam, your certification cycle starts, and that continues.
Sir,
Yes.
may I interrupt you for a minute, sir? This
Of
one,
course. Of course.
we were talking about the calculator. How often we use it, sir? What I see is apart from the cost and financial analysis, we don't require this calculator, no, sir.
Well, there's small
Is it
little
case?
thing. Then schedule, you have to do certain calculation, and risk you have to do certain calculation, cost you have to do certain, but none of the calculation is complex. You see, I tell my students that don't be afraid of the mathematics in project management. If you know addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, that is all you require, and that you can even do by your own hand. But if there is a calculator available on screen, that is only for that purpose. You don't have to do complex mathematical formulas or things like that. So that is the only thing you require. And how many questions will be there for the numericals? Probably not more than 30 or 40 questions in 200 questions. So don't really bother about it. These questions are not going to take you through. You just can't say that I'm only doing numericals and I'll pass. So you can't. But naturally you have to do numericals and you have to do them right. Whatever they are, 30 or 40 questions, you have to do them right. Got it, you?
Sir. Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Okay, you have your certification cycle is for 3 years. The day you pass your exam, say that is 15th of September. So after 3 years, 14th of September, your PMP will expire. So whatever PDUs you have to get and whatever payment you have to make, $60, etc., you should do it beforehand. There is a person who came to me. He said, I could not renew and I am on suspension. Right? Suspension means he has wasted 3 years. He did not renew. He did not earn the PDUs, and now he's trying to earn the PDUs. And he earned the PDUs. And what mistake he did next? He did not pay for the fee. And once he tried to pay, they said your time is over. 4 years are over, and he had to appear in everything from the nation. He had to do everything again. So be very careful. Take a note of this. Usually visit your PMI.org website, my PMI, and keep checking your status there. And even projectmanagement.com also shows your status. how many PDUs are left. It keeps telling you. And if you regularly visit projectmanagement.com, you will be able to, you're sitting idle, you say, okay, I have 1 hour, let's see a webinar. Watch a webinar and get one PDU. It will keep adding to your score. So it is not an impossibility, but naturally it is laxity on the part of the person himself that he cannot. Then the suspension period, as
Sir,
I did.
regarding these PDUs, they restrict it to the project management domain, or anything you can do and show it to them that I have earned
No, no,
this
no. We have discussed
PDUs?
that. I think, did we not discuss the talent triangle and all that?
No, sir.
Okay. I'll explain that to you. I'll explain that. Okay.
Okay, sir.
The suspension period of 1 year when you cannot use your PMP credential but still you are allowed to complete your 60 PDUs, that period does not count as a membership. But when you renew it, that suspension period becomes your membership period. I mean to say, your membership will start from the date your previous membership cycle expired. So you should not think that I will waste 1 year in suspension and after that I will get another 3 years. You will get another 2 years only, not 3 years. So your uh, renewal starts from the date previous cycle had finished, and the payment is $60 and PDUs. Okay. Uh, for PMP, for PGMP, for PFMP, and PMI-PBA, business analysis. These are the 4 certifications for which you require 60 PDUs each. For scheduling professional, for risk management professional, and for agile certified professional, you need to earn 30 PDUs in 3 years. So this is it. Secondly, uh, if you earn more than 60 PDUs, is there any benefit? So PMI says that not more than 20 PDUs can be carried forward to your next cycle. If say you had to earn 60 PDUs and you earn 80, 20 will move ahead to the next cycle, but 60 will be used here. But if you get 100, 20 will be wasted, 20 will be transferred, and 60 will be used. So in the very first year of my PMP, I bought about 150 PDUs, something like that, because I did my Prince 2 certification, and in those days, whoever does the Prince 2 certification, he used to get 49 PDUs. So I got 49 PDUs from there. I attended some of the PMI congresses, and I had so many PDUs, but they were of no use. Only 60 were used, 20 were transferred, and remaining all PDUs were just a waste. Okay, but those 20 PDUs which will be transferred, there is a condition attached to that. And condition is those 20 PDUs must have been acquired in the very last year of the cycle. 20 PDUs which you want them to transfer forward, they must be acquired in the last year. Why? Because in the very first year of your cycle, you get 150 PDUs, but you do not learn anything in the next 2 years. So none of the knowledge is transferable then. Then only 60 PDUs will be counted. Remaining everything goes for a 6. Shakhan, you understand this?
Yes, sir. Correctly understood, sir.
Okay, wonderful. Now your PDUs, which you will get in these 3 years, 60 PDUs, will be divided in 2 sections. Either you can learn new skills, take new courses, and get educational PDUs, or you can do some work. You will contribute, giving back to the profession. Like you see, I'm teaching you, I'm giving back to the profession. I am writing an article or a paper, I'm speaking at an international congress. So all these actions, or I'm writing a book, all these actions will give me some PDUs in the category of giving back to the profession. And even the experience you gain during this 3-year cycle will also give you some PDUs. But the system of these PDUs have now changed. This is exactly what Shahan I wanted to tell you. First rule is you have to get 60 PDUs. They could be from these two categories. As far as the educational PDUs, there is no restriction how many you get. You can get all the PDUs in the educational categories. There is no restriction that you must write some articles, you must teach somewhere, you must write something. Though that is not mandatory. The only mandatory requirement is that you must have educational PDUs. How many I will tell you. But this can be so important that if you gain all the 60 PDUs from education category, they all are valid. You get no PDUs from giving back to the profession, that is no problem whatsoever. But education PDUs must be received, and for that let me show you the new method of CCR. This is called PMI Talent Triangle. Now PMI has changed their system a bit, and now they are saying it is not only the project manager, project management, a project manager must know. He must have a very good knowledge of strategic and business management also. He should have very good soft skills, leadership, communication, all that knowledge. He should learn those skills also. So in all of the three categories, you will have to get the PDUs. This slide will show you what exactly are the contents of each one of these areas. In strategic and business management, you can have um, trainings or whatever conducted in the benefit management and realization, business acumen, business models and structures, competitive analysis, customer relationship, industry knowledge, legal and regulatory compliance. None of this is project management, but these are strategic level or business management level things. From technical side, you can have agile practices, data gathering modeling, earned value, governance, life cycle management, performance management, requirement management and traceability, risk management, scheduling. So all the technical matter for the project management. And third category is leadership. In this, you must educate yourself and train yourself in these areas, soft skill areas, brainstorming, coaching, mentoring, conflict management, emotional intelligence, influencing, interpersonal skills, listening, negotiation, problem solving, and team building. So this is not only, these things are not only important for preparing for your exam, but they are also important for upkeep of your PMP certification. Now let me explain how many PDUs should you get in what category. As I said, there are 60 PDUs you need to get, some in education and some in giving back. In education, your minimum requirement is 35 PDUs. Out of the 60 PDUs, 35, at least 35 must be from education. They could all be from 60, but at least 35 should be from education category. Out of these 35, at least 8 PDUs you must have received from the technical project management category, at least 8 from leadership, at least 8 from strategic business management. So these are 24 PDUs. Remaining 11 PDUs could belong to any one of these three areas. But the minimum requirement for each of the areas is 8, but it can be more. So you can have minimum 35 PDUs in education and maximum it can be any number. If you gain 35 from education, giving back PDUs are 25. Only 8 PDUs out of these 25 you could claim from your 3 years of experience as a project manager. Only 8. Only 8. Previously it used to be 15. Now they have changed it only 8 PDUs for your 3 years of experience. Remaining PDUs you have to get it into either of the two categories. One is volunteering and other is creating knowledge. Volunteering is, say there is a Islamabad PMI chapter here in Islamabad, and wherever you are going, you are a member of a PMI chapter. You should do some volunteer work with them. So you get PDUs from there. And you can even stand for a president or elections or whatever, board of directors or whatever you do, that will give you some PDUs. I was the president of Islamabad chapter, and I did get a number of PDUs for that. So if you are working in any position, in an elected position or a nominated position, you will get some PDUs for that. Creating knowledge, as I explained earlier, writing an article, delivering a lecture, preparing a course, conducting a seminar, facilitating an event, writing a book, publishing a paper, whatever. All these things are creating knowledge. Writing blogs also. This is all creating knowledge, and you have to get these PDUs from there. But at the same time, this is not necessary that you have to have, the volunteer experience with you. You can have all the 60 PDUs from the education and done away with. And that is not that difficult a job. 60 PDUs means 60 hours. One webinar on project management is 1 hour. So in 1 year, can't you attend 20 webinars of 1 hour at your own comfort, at night or whatever time? So you can have all the PDUs, there is no problem. So this is a great facility PMI has provided in shape of projectmanagement.com. Yes, Shahan, any problems?
No, sir, all clear.
All clear, wonderful. This is the old mechanism of the categories, which I think I should not talk about. This is just an old story, so just forget about it. So we are done with this portion. Now I intend doing something else, and that is I want to give you an exam. Ready for it?
Yeah, sure, sir.
Okay. Just hold on a minute and let me get the exam ready. किधर फंस गया हूँ मैं? Okay. This is PMP initial assessment exam, and I think there are 20 questions in it, and you can take about half an hour, and I am launching it now. Your time starts now. Okay, Beerpoint International has 7 project managers. Managing different projects, project teams are centrally controlled by a single administrative entity and do not report directly to respective project managers. Do not report directly to respective project managers. It simply means कि
Functional.
ये functional नहीं है, ये functional नहीं है.
But again it says ना sir, जो second वाला है वो confusing है.
This is also not projectized. Depending on the nature of this project, some project managers also control budget, but not all. If project manager controls budget, it is projectized, right? But because there is a more control, तो ये balanced matrix हो सकता है या strong matrix हो सकता है. Balance की option दी हुई है, balance सही है. Functional नहीं है, weak नहीं है. Second of the question is correct for both. You have been hired as a quality assurance manager at Six Sigma. You have been assigned responsibility of quality assurance the process and their continuous improvement. How do you classify your new assignment? Not as a project because it is repetitive in nature. This is correct. Question number 3. I don't understand कि इसमें 33% marks का क्या मतलब है? You were only 2 people. या 50 होता है, ये 33 का क्या मतलब है? Anyways, आपका ठीक है जी ये? करेक्ट आंसर है?
मेरा गलत है सर।
आपका भी गलत है?
ये सर मेरा गलत है।
आपका क्या है?
I was C, sir. I was saying now nothing can be done. So manage the customers' expectations and ensure such errors would not occur in future. So
Okay.
how you will ensure such errors will not occur in future? You will update the lesson learned. So I think C was somehow, I don't know. This is debatable.
Right.
How you will ensure this should not occur in future? So you will be updating the lesson learned. So something is debatable here.
Let me read the question. Your project has successfully completed and product delivered to the client. After the maintenance contract has also expired, customer came up with a defect in the product due to some flaw in the drawings. You still repaired the defect, but customer seems unhappy due to the design flaw. While escalating the issue to your sponsor, what should you recommend? Okay, देखें, once you have delivered the product, the project has essentially finished. There is no responsibility of the project, rather the project does not exist anymore. So if there is a problem and he is complaining about it and we still did something about it, तो ये तो हमने उस पे मेहरबानी की है. So what all we can do now is when the project has finished, we can record this thing in lesson learned कि आइंदा ऐसी गलती ना हो. We can't fix that. He may escalate it as an issue and sponsor or whomsoever the senior management, they may decide to start another project to correct that mistake. That is another story. But as far as my project is concerned, as far as I being a project manager is concerned, I am not responsible because I have handed over, he has accepted it and everything was okay at that stage. At a very later stage, he just realizes out of the blue that there was a defect in the drawing. The drawing was given by him. So it is not my mistake. And why should he be not happy about it? Unhappy है तो अपने घर पे होता रहे. Fourth question दोनों का ठीक है जी. मेरे ख्याल इसको we don't need to read. Fifth question 67% again I don't know मेरा ख्याल है. Okay. Okay. So did you understand why? Yes, it is right. Question statement was a little. Okay. आपने बताया तो था. नहीं आपने देखें, you must note one thing. Speaking half truth is not the truth. You must speak whole truth. This is no way I did tell you something about it and maybe I have done my duty. Trump wali baat hogi. Next question is wrong for both. Frank Dilbert accepted a new assignment in Saudi Arabia and has taken over as project engineer at Jeddah municipality. On the first day of his job, he left his car at home as his wife needed it for shopping. She was supposed to pick him up at the end of the day, but she never turned up. Later, Frank learned she was arrested for driving, as women are not allowed to drive in Saudi Arabia, especially without a male co-driver. The simple thing is, if you are going to another country, you are supposed to learn their rules and follow their rules right from there.
Sir, with due respect, I will disagree here, sir. Now we have a situation and we have to manage the situation, which has already been done. He should have learned, but somehow he missed it. Now what he can do is the last D step, I think. You should go to his embassy and seek their
If you have done a crime, you should be ready for the punishment. That is the solution. If you have done a crime, you should be ready for the punishment. You can't go to your consulate and ask them to protect you, or you can't protest against it. It's not anybody else's fault. It is your fault.
Why not C?
Okay, sir.
And
Why not C?
why should he ask for a pardon? For what? उसकी वाइफ से हुई है और दूसरी बात है कि पार्डन तो किसी उसकी पनिशमेंट की सजा नहीं होती, वो अपना क्राइम की सजा नहीं होती। नहीं, वो तो सजा मिलेगी उसे। तो देखिए ना, हम तो पाकिस्तानी तरीके से सोचते हैं। We try to find the न्याय से रास्ता निकालना। भाई बात ये है कि अगर से कि आपका बेटा कत्ल करता है, तो आपकी कोशिश ये थी मैं किसी से बचा लूं उसे। भाई उसने कत्ल किया है, उसको
Yes,
आपकी कोशिश ये होनी चाहिए कि उसको जो सजा उसकी बनती है उसको मिले।
sir.
लॉ अबाइडिंग सिटीजन इसको कहते हैं। एग्जैक्टली तो ये जो है ना एथिकल क्वेश्चन है, क्वेश्चन यू हैव टू टेक नोट ऑफ दैट थिंग दैट इज नॉट योर पर्सन। हम अपनी इमोशंस में आ जाते हैं, नॉट इमोशंस, दिस इज सिंपल एथिक्स। एथिकल क्वेश्चंस आते हैं बिल्कुल। Seventh question is wrong. Both of you have done it wrong. Jack Perth was to present a project progress in front of the project board. Being a effective speaker, he started off with some humorous anecdotes to capture the audience attention. He noticed embarrassing looks from audience when he realized majority of the board members were from China. What has he done wrong? बात ये, when you are doing something, you must understand in front of whom you are doing it. Basically, Americans have this problem that whatever their culture is, whatever they behave in their own way, they go to another country, they will behave, they'll behave the same way, carefree and joking and cutting jokes and standing on the desk. I've seen them. They are so stupid. It looks very odd. कि यार ये पागल दा बच्चा कितों आ गया. So this is his responsibility to know where he is going and in front of whom he is presenting and accommodate according to that. About Chinese, this is known that they are serious people. They don't like this. This is considered unethical that any light mood things are happening in a meeting or a conference. They don't joke. So he should have known that thing earlier. Yes, of course. क्वालिटी ऑफ जोक्स की बात नहीं है, पहली बात तो ये कि उसे करनी ही नहीं चाहिए। अगर पता नहीं है तो चुप करके बैठो, ठीक है ना, फिर अपना कल्चर क्यों थोपते हो? If he doesn't know, he should not have, straight away he should have not done that. And if he needs,
Sir,
and he don't like it, even then he doesn't have to do it.
I have been with Chinese in Beijing, sir. I was working there from 2012 to 2014, sir, for 2 years. Although they laugh, but they don't understand. If you speak very fast, then they will not laugh. If you slowly crack some jokes, then they will definitely.
Actually, the problem with Chinese is that they are not coming up as a dominating culture. They are coming up at a subservient kind of a culture, and they want to merge themselves in every culture. So you will find them everywhere in the world, and they do not have their own religion. They do not have their own culture. Nothing. They are no dresses. Nothing. They don't have anything of their own now. That's why.
One more thing sir, one more thing I wanted to discuss is, as we said, in the office, they have a different sort of decorum in office.
Yeah.
We were only 3 Pakistani engineers working on a huge project, and they were, all of them were, rest were Chinese. We were the only foreigners, and one Indian was there. When they talk to each other, sir, initially for 1 month we thought that they are fighting with each other. So they talk to each other so loudly that every other person get disturbed.
Yeah,
so then after 2 months or 3 months we get used to the system.
Yeah.
So this is one of interesting things about Chinese.
You must work with multicultural environments, and you would know the behavior of various kinds of people. First time I went to an international course that was Masters in Leadership with PMI, and there were 25 people from all over the world. There was a Chinese, there was a Japanese, there was Americans that were there, and Canadians were there, and everywhere, Indians, and I was the only Pakistani there. So that was my first exposure of this kind of environment, and I was quite very reserved because I don't know what somebody will mind and what should I do. So very first day, at the end of the day, I went to the facilitator, Dr. Jerry Brightman, and I asked him, said, I'm not feeling very comfortable. What's the problem? I say, I've never worked in this environment. I'm completely baffled the way the people are behaving here, and I do not want to offend anyone, and I don't know how to behave. I don't know who will mind what. If I try to cut a joke and somebody, it was not
Yes.
very ethical for that person or something like that. So, what should I do? And I personally think that I am not that loud and I'm not that humorous. I don't know. So he said, okay, first of all, he was a very, wonderful person, and he had a very sharp memory. Even today, after say, it's more than 12 years now, even today, if he meets me, he will start narrating the events between him and me. What I said, what he said, and everything. He remembers each and everything. So he said, okay, you say you are not humorous, but I find you very humorous. When this question was asked and somebody said this, you said this, you gave this point, and that was quite humorous and this and that. He said, first point is everybody is humorous. The only matter is that you are feeling, left alone. Secondly, you are afraid. Trust me, everyone here is afraid. And just look at it, after 2 to 3 days, you will all mix up so very well. You will gel up so well that you won't find that you were ever from some other country. And exactly that happened. We were best of friends after 3 days, just 3 days. So he got us into some kind of group exercises, and after that we just gelled up. And the last session we attended with him, it was, he intentionally did that, I think. He said everybody sit in a circle and everybody should say something about everybody else, right? So that was, down the memory lane kind of a thing. Na? So there was a person with us, his name was Nathaniel Quintina. He was American, and, he was a very funny guy, very interesting guy. Now what he did was, he stood up from his seat and he got to his knees in front of the next person, and he started, talking about him. You were great, and you did this, and you helped me in that, and this is this. And then he kept doing it with everyone, and he kept, he cried a lot with every one of the case. He cried, and he made the other person cry. The other person, there was a person who said, "You just get up and fuck off from here. I don't want to listen to anything," because he knew that he will have to cry. But he just stuck there and he did his job. And at the end of the day, everyone was crying there. That was the level of emotional engagement which we achieved in a multicultural environment. People we did not know. And that is exactly what happens. After all, we are all
Yes.
humans. Okay, next question was correct for both of you. Eighth question. On receipt of the charter, you say um, align with organization, right? Configuration management is correct. Question number 10, code of account is wrong. Now, code of account, naturally you have not studied it, but there is a numbering system, a hierarchical numbering system. So if you look at this, what do you understand? If this is a kind of a hierarchy, then the hierarchy is shown in the number. BB is 20,001. CC is 20,002. DD is 20,003. That means, and EE is 20,004. That means all of these things are of the same level. EE and FE,
Okay.
right? So which code of account numbering in the WBS shown below is most appropriate? So we have got only one level, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In second, we have got 2200 and CC is 2250, means that comes under 200. BB
Yes.
should come under BB, and DD should also come under BB, and EE should also come under BB, and FF should also come under BB. So these are okay. numbers are duplicate. DD and FF number are duplicate. That is not correct. Okay, let's look at the C level. It says 21,000, 22,000, 23,000, and EE is under 21,000, that is BB, and FF is under EE. So this is the correct hierarchy which is shown down to the levels. And then D is 21, 21, 100, 21 on C and D and E and F. If you properly draw them, then you will find out that which is most appropriate. But this one is more appropriate, C1. Question 11 is correct. Question 12 is one person has attempted wrong.
Yes, sir, it's me. I was thinking it is less precise because there is duplication in critical paths.
Okay. And your project are becoming critical and you have more than one critical paths available in your network diagram. What is indicating about it? Okay. First of all, you must understand there can be more than one critical paths. There can be more than one critical paths. And what is a critical path? Critical path is the longest path. So if longest path is 10 days, there could be another path of 10 days. That there is a possibility. But if there are two critical paths, then more activities will be critical. And therefore, this is less achievable.
Okay.
No, not high reliability, not less precision, not easier to accomplish. This is less achievability. So if you have got
Sir,
20 activities and 18 are critical, yes?
Is it advisable to have more critical paths, or in this way people will be in confusion?
Never advisable, but you see, you don't know what will transpire at the end of it. You don't plan for critical paths. Critical paths happen. You don't make critical paths. You know, once you have created your network diagram, after calculations you come to know which is the critical path, and there could be more than one. 13, is it correct? You are wrong. Okay. Negative, let me, monitoring project as a result of analysis, you find that total float is being computed as negative. What does that mean? Actually, negative float should not be there. Planning many of. When you plan, naturally there is no possibility of negative. But when you execute project and something happens wrong and it is delayed, and say there was a critical activity of 10 days and it took 12 days.
Sir, I'm interrupting. In that particular case, is that considered a float, sir? It's a delay,
yes.
Actually.
No. Yes, it is a delay, but we will call it a negative float. A negative float automatically means that this is a delay. So project will be delayed. And naturally, we will not keep the negative float. We will make the change request and correct it. The critical path will be enlarged then, and then automatically the negativity will go. But immediately when you are monitoring, then at that time this may happen that some of the floats can go negative. Question 14, is it correct for both or? Okay. When a contractor working on your project has not fulfilled the contractual commitment of meeting, our relationship with the contractor is of the contract. If he's not, abiding by the contract, then
he has to be penalized.
जब तक गलती हो नहीं जाती उस वक्त तक हेल्प करें हाँ जी हाँ बिल्कुल अगर has caused a delay of 1 week नहीं क्यों फ्लोट अवेलेबल हो देखिए the portion of project which I have given him, the portion of project which is subcontracted him, that is his responsibility. उसकी टाइमलाइंस को मैनेज करना उसका काम है और वो उससे भी डिले हो गया है, इसका मतलब फ्लोट से आगे निकल गया वो तो हो गया लेकिन आपकी एक्टिविटी ब्रेकडाउन के अंदर हो सकता है कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ऑफ स्ट्रक्चर में इसके अंदर फ्लोट अवेलेबल किसके अंदर पूरा ओवरऑल आपके नेटवर्क में अगर फ्लोट होगा तो वो तो आपके हाथ में ना, तो आप उसको कॉन्ट्रैक्ट तो उसने गलत किया ना, आप उसको बाद में बेशक अलाउंस दें या जो मर्जी दें, लेकिन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट से उसने गलती तो कर दी ना, उसकी पेनल्टी तो उसकी बनती है, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में लिखा हुआ है कि उसकी पेनल्टी है इस बात की, तो पेनल्टी बनेगी, ही विल बी पेनलाइज्ड फॉर दैट। सर ये कहते हैं ना कि you should pick the answer which is the very next thing that you should do. No, you should pick the answer which is the most correct, the best option. Not what you should do. Because जब आप you should do वाला करेंगे तो आप गलत करेंगे। वही बात है ना, पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंसेस के ऊपर चलते हैं ना हम उसको भाईबंदी में कहते हैं चलो कोई बात नहीं यार, खैर है, मैं तुम्हें माफ करता हूँ, बहुत सी चीजें हम करते हैं, बट दे आर नॉट राइट। कॉन्ट्रैक्ट तो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है, जैसे हमने वो उसकी बात की कि भाई कानून कानून है, कानून आप जानते हैं, आप क्यों कर रहे हैं? यानी कि अगर थॉट प्रोसेस ऐसा ऐसा होना चाहिए कि वेरी नेक्स्ट थिंग है, सॉरी जो आप करना चाहिए, जो राइट थिंग है वो ये है कि उसको आप पेनल्टी डाल दें, हाँ, और रिव्यू करें प्रोजेक्ट को, वो डिले हो जाएगा, ठीक है, वो सेकंड स्टेप है ना, बट उसने कहा कि इमीडिएटली क्या होना चाहिए, इमीडिएटली ये होना चाहिए कि उसको पेनल्टी, एग्जैक्टली एग्जैक्टली, दैट इज द पॉइंट। Then next question, both you have done right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You could have drawn
This one.
Done it like that.
Sorry, sir.
Okay. Okay, fine. We will do that, all these things, and you will be better off. So 16, 17, all correct. Which one? 15? 16 जो है. What will be the late finish activity G? Actually, you have to draw it ना. नहीं, ये किसके रेफरेंस से क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे हैं? उसी के पीछे वाले. Oh my God! इसमें कोई मेंशन तो नहीं हुआ? नहीं, मेंशन नहीं हुआ. वो करना चाहिए था.
Sir.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm interrupting you. This 15, sir, it is an educated guess and it worked out, but I couldn't understand the whole philosophy behind.
Should have been. We will do these calculations in detail. And you will be. 17 दोनों उसी के ऊपर बेस्ड है. Yeah. और मैंने तो दोनों को इसलिए कर दिया cannot be calculated क्योंकि किसी के साथ को अटैच. अच्छा, okay. नहीं, कोई बात नहीं. No problem. We'll do it. 18 is correct for both. Will have, okay, if an activity will take 144 man hours to complete and you have 3 resources available to do it, which statement would be true if you are working for 40 hours a week? 3 बंदे 40 घंटे काम करेंगे तो है जी 6 डेज का वीक है। अब इसमें पहली स्टेटमेंट कहता है जी 6 वर्किंग डेज हो, elapsed टाइम 6 वर्किंग डेज हो और एफर्ट 3 स्टाफ की हो। दूसरा कहता है 6 ड्यूरेशन हो, elapsed टाइम 8 डेज हो। काम कितनी देर का है जी, इसको डिवाइड करें तो अब वो फिर वीकेंड आ गया ना, तो वीकेंड के बाद आएगा ना फिर वो, तो इसलिए उसके जो एक्चुअल कैलेंडर डेज जो गुजरेंगे वो 8 गुजरेंगे, वो वीकेंड भी तो बीच में आ गया ना, वो भी काउंट होगा। तो उसने कहा elapsed टाइम जो है वो कैलेंडर डेज है और एफर्ट 144 स्टाफ आवर्स है, तो ये वाला ठीक है। तो 1 वीक से बात नहीं बनती, 1 वीक से बियॉन्ड चला गया ना। 1 वीक में 120 हो जाएगा ना, हाँ जी बिल्कुल है, हाँ जी 24 के लिए कि लैप्स टाइम जो है वो वीकेंड वाले लैप्स हो रहे हैं जी, वीकेंड वाला लैप्स हो रहा है ना, वीक में एक वीकेंड वाला आ गया, संडे वाला 6 दिन, वो 7वां वीकेंड और 8वें दिन काम होगा, 8वें दिन कंप्लीट होगा। यस, हैमक एक्टिविटी की ये बी इज द करेक्ट आंसर। ये जनाब विल स्टडी, this is the activity which spans between 2 points in the schedule, summarizing the detailed activities in between. So if there are 2 activities, so this is one activity, this is one activity, and you in between you are saying that this activity has got sub activities, 3-4 sub activities, so they are attached, or they are hanging with the main activity. So if the main activity is 10 days and the hammock activity is 5 days, 4 days, 7 days, all those activities are dependent on the main activity and they are क्या कहते हैं, being dependent on that activity. So this is a hammock activity which does not count towards the main project duration, but this is the sub activities of the main activity and they are hanging in between these two activities. Okay. Okay. Which spans between 2 points in the schedule, summarizing the detailed activities in between. Right. Say you said okay, this is one activity of 15 days, construction of the wall. Right? In construction of the wall, there are a number of tasks you have to do. So you have further subdivided 2 days for this, 5 days for this, 7 days for this, or the activities which are happening, which are the sub-activities which are happening within the activity are the hammock activities. Because summing them up will make the main activity. But we are calculating the path according to the main activity. So hammock activities are just, a flow and nothing else.
Construction of wall की जब हम दे रहे हैं,
हाँ नहीं.
तो mixing of cement is also a
Exactly.
hammock activity.
Yes.
Bringing the bricks the hammock
बिल्कुल.
activity है, laying them the hammock activity.
Exactly. All of these activities which are within the main activity, they are the hammock activities. They as such do not count as activities. Okay, what is the total float? The definition of total float is the 20th last question, and total float is the जो गुंजाइश है उसकी, this is the allowance available for the whole path, not of activity. Although it is calculated with each activity, but total float relates to the whole path. If your path has got 4 days of float, this could be utilized by any of the activities on that path. If one activity utilizes these 4 days, then it is no more available. Then everything else is becoming critical. So total float is the duration of an activity can be delayed without affecting project completion date. So 67% आ रहा है, मुझे पता नहीं. Critical path में तो float नहीं. Yes. So this is it. So this was just a teaser for you to see how the questions would be. Yeah. So tomorrow when we start off with the main PMB, okay, then we will very detailed. We'll go through each and everything, each and every formula, calculation, everything that will be done there. Chapter 1 from PMB. Okay.
और 1 2 3 को जाएंगे या
सारा इसी में.
सॉरी जो ए है उसको कब करेंगे?
1 2 3 ए क्या? वो उसमें आ जाएगा, 3 चैप्टर में आ जाएगा. That is with 3 चैप्टर. वो उसमें कवर हो जाएगा. Full PMBOK will be covered 100%.
Thank you, sir. Sir, yesterday I was asking a question and somehow this went off, sir. This execution phase, which is 31% of the whole exam. How many questions were there in this part, sir? Execution part.
31% means 62 questions.
62 questions. Okay. Thank you very much.
So just double it, na? 32 plus 32, 31 plus 31, 62. With 200 questions.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Righty. So I think we should call it a day. We have already taken 10 minutes extra. So tomorrow we meet again and we work on the first chapter of PMBOK. Right now, thank you very much.
Have a good day, sir.